Hello, hello, hello. How are you all doing today? I'm actually on my mobile device because of my internet is on my laptop isn't working that well. So if I change or switch devices or go out, that is why. It is a five of diamonds week. Okay, so I really don't do this too often enough, but the days is August the 29th through the 4th. Okay, so the five of diamonds in itself is a fluctuation of values, fluctuation of finances as well. Also, I don't know if I said it last week. I may have said it, but the essence of values or the essence of diamonds don't always equate to money in a sense, right? Sometimes it can equate to what your moral values are, your standards, the things that you believe in, the things that you um, draw your passion to, which values can fluctuate for anyone, right? And those can be, and that can be um, some of the hardest things to evaluate for certain people and to understand for certain people. I think that's why diamonds are sometimes the hardest card to read a lot of times because of the values for us fluctuates a lot of times from person to person. So diamonds is one of the most interesting set of cards. It's more diamonds than any other cards. I believe it's 133 and 131. Then there's 52 and 49. So 49 hearts and 52 spades, if I'm not mistaken. So with all of the um, cards, each card, has their own personal characteristics, the things that they have, certain belief systems, that you can probably kind of equate to certain particular cards, like the way that the clubs may go about thinking or the thought process, right? Um, it can be more fixed into their opinions sometimes, right? So with all the other cards and with the five of diamonds, you have a fluctuation of values, right? So with all diamonds and other diamonds, they all sit in the Saturn line, right? So it can be um, in the spiritual spread, they sit in the Saturn line, so it can be kind of tough. So for the five of diamonds, they don't move too far, unfortunately for them. So they sit Neptune, Saturn. Okay, so with Neptune, Saturn, there's a lot of burdens that may happen or they may come across within the five of diamonds life path, right? So for me, and looking at this week, um, a lot of times those burdens can be financially. Okay, so I don't know if anyone has been paying attention or you've been looking at what's been taking place, but with the five of diamonds financially, or during the five of diamonds week, there was I believe it was. Let me see which date it was. It was said to be by Ian the investor, the biggest thing that has happened since 2020 as far as the stock market. So the five of diamonds has the nine of diamonds. So there's always a fluctuation as far as money or material value that happens with the five of diamonds energy, or within, as we can see, the five of diamonds week. I don't have it on, so let me go to this page. So that is Ian the investor. That's who I look at usually on Market Mondays. A lot of times through Earn Your Leisure. He also has a stock club. I do look at a few other people. The Honey Drip, 100K. I also follow him for financial advice. Speaking of financial advice and advising, it's also a thing for the Five of Diamonds. Is taking advice as well. Hello, G.
Hey, how's it going?
Going pretty good. Going pretty good. Feeling kind of weird. I'm up here
You're
just.
feeling weird?
Yeah, because I was just talking. I was just hearing myself talk. Um, I was here last week by myself too. I guess stream. It wasn't too bad, but I'm on my phone. I don't like holding my phone like this.
Yeah.
And, but I was on my computer. I logged into StreamYard. StreamYard keep asking for reviews. I think they should come. I should invite them to my stream and and maybe they can visualize some of the difficulty. Take responsibility. I do have to take 5 diamonds a week. I will take responsibility. Growth, self development, um, uh, and certain things having certain things charged. But it was tripping. It was tripping for a while. But hello everyone. What's going on? I didn't mean to put y'all up here if y'all didn't want to. But hello. How has your week been?
Been pretty good. Um, it was my birthday on Tuesday, so went to the beach. Well, I went to Georgia the weekend last weekend. That's why I wasn't on last Sunday because I was still in Georgia, and then drove back on Monday. And then my birthday was on Tuesday, so we went to. I actually had work to do. Worked in the morning, got some of my stuff done because I had been gone all weekend, so I kind of really had to catch up. And then we went to the beach and we went and had a nice dinner down at the beach, and came home, and my oldest got me a little birthday cake, and we just sang happy birthday, and that was pretty much the extent of that day. It was, just easy peasy. I watch a baby a couple of days a week, so I was back into the groove of that. And um, but other than that, just was spending the last few minutes helping my oldest get her stuff because we move her to college next weekend. So she's getting everything washed and packed and, going through her stuff. So that's happening too, as well. So,
Okay, congratulations on that. Yeah,
yeah.
yep. Well, I hit you up. College is a very interesting world. The whole navigation through the systems and the different, just the whole politics of college. It's hard to see it as when you're young, you know, as far as how it works. And afterwards, you just realize that it's all politics at the end of the day. Um, I was looking at my computer. I thought it was open. I'm trying to get off this phone. But yeah, so that's the changes, the move locations. So it seems like that you was on the move, on the go a lot.
Hmm.
Working while you was on the move and on the go, instead of being the boss. And I laughed. You was talking about you babysit, and I was like, that's such a jack of hearts with the kids.
And it's funny because, my oldest and my little one, they both have been here. It's, there's no school right now. So they'll take the baby, and within 5 minutes, she's looking for, they're like, what? She won't, she only likes you. And I'm like, it's a thing I have with babies. It's like, it makes sense being the Jack of Hearts representing that young childlike energy. Babies and me are like this. Like, it's like I can understand them. I can interpret their needs, and I can almost read them in that space. And she's an 8 of diamonds too. So it's funny to see. And she's such a sweet girl. She's such a sweet baby. She's such a happy baby, which helps, right? And she's pretty easy for the most part. I would say she naps well. She isn't too fussy in that space. So that you can just play with her. Really, that's all she wants you to do is give her attention. Hello, she's the 8 of diamonds. So it's easy for me because I enjoy the baby energy, because to me it's just it's playful, it's sweet, it's innocent, it's fun. So she's been a joy to have. And my oldest, it's so funny because my oldest is like, let's get her to crawl, and she's putting her on the floor and she's trying to get her to move. And It's cute to watch the two of them with her as well, but they're so funny. Like, oh, here you go, you can take her now. You know what I mean? Like, she's fussing or she's crying. Like, they're easy to be like, there you go, that's on you. Pass her on to me.
So anyone has a looking at your weekly, if you're prone to looking at your weekly spreads or looking at your yearly spreads, look at when you have a Jack of Hearts, coming up in your week or in your year. See kids or where the children come. It can also, I think, signify birth. About maybe the year of, the year before, the year after you gave birth, or you can see that as a pattern a lot of times. Or even just speaking to kids, think, when did that happen? For me? I think during my yearly, I, I had a Jack of Hearts. So also for the you was talking about the Eight of Diamonds needing attention. The Five of Diamonds also, I think, has the Queen of Spades. The both of those cards have like a King of Spades and Queen of Spades in their Mercury position. So parents and having people around for them is very important. The influence, especially for women, for them it could, if that can have, stringent relation.
Remember, reach it to the scalp. Look how much.
Yeah, it's going fast.
Because they can be dominated or seemingly dominated in their childhood because they have the King of Spades or the Queen of Spades, both for the Eight of Diamonds and the Five of Diamonds, and both of those diamonds having both of those prominent cards. I think that's kind of important. I was talking about how values fluctuate a lot of times, or depending on who you are as far as the person. And diamonds are, I think, sometimes the hardest to read because of, I think you need to be very grounded, stable, in your routine, who you are, self-reliant, and not relying on other people, and being disciplined, because without that discipline, you can tend to kind of, go off and just have fun, spend money, careless.
Well, I think they have to, because for the pressure that the diamonds have, they need that discipline. You know what I mean? Like the pressure of kind of coming as that adult energy, and there's a lot of weight on that shoulder. So they need that. The discipline, I think, is key for the diamonds to have the success that they desire, that they come here to kind of build and create. So, and to create that requires a lot of discipline. And it's interesting because I look at my Saturn card being the King of Diamonds, and I'm like, I see, like, when I'm disciplined, when I get my stuff together, when I get organized, when I get out of the clouds, things work so much better. But it's like me, I'm like, I don't want to do it. Like, it's so tedious for me to, like, but I realize, like, that's the key. That's really what unlocks the door for me to, like, succeed, is when I have the discipline. That's why I kind of, like, I jokingly say, like, my favorite moon cycle now is like Capricorn moon, when the moon is in Capricorn or the moon is in Virgo or even the moon is in Aries. There's just like, let's get stuff. Like, I feel this, like, I'm ready to accomplish. I'm ready to achieve. I accomplish so much when the moon is in Capricorn. I actually really enjoy that energy. If the moon is in a water sign, oh my God, I'm a mess. I'm a mess. But when it's in that Capricorn or that Virgo energy, like Virgo energy, my house is getting clean, everything's getting put away. Capricorn, I'm like, all right, I got lists, I got things to do, and it's like I'm ready, But when the moon is in other signs, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do anything. You know what I mean? I know you can, when you really are paying attention to where the moon is, since it moves the fastest of all the other ones, you really do. I feel like you can really pinpoint that energy and use it to your advantage when you're aware of it. Like, okay, I know when the moon is in Virgo, it's time to clean up. And I feel that sense of urge of like, things need to be clean, things need to get organized. And I will utilize that energy and not fight it. It's like, oh no, I want to get this done. And then when that moon is in Capricorn, I'm like, I feel so accomplished. I feel so, it reminds me of very diamond energy, like the building something or just getting the work done because you want the success that comes with it, so. And then this week being the Five of Diamonds week, it has been a little bit of like kind of being able to pivot and adjust and adapt, and to be able to kind of go with the flow. That's what I always talk about with the fives is being free, like allowing the wind to kind of come and redirect you, and really have faith in the redirection. Because I was talking to someone earlier about that five and the nines that they have connected to them, and how it's really to teach you to be unattached and to, not be anchored in certain spaces, because there's a constant wandering with that energy. There's a constant shift with that energy. And so it's why they have nines in Mars, because they're really here to not be attached to certain things,
Mm-hmm.
because they're constantly, on a move.
Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, to let go, don't get worried. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
of what you don't see. Have faith, right? Because right after
Mm-hmm.
diamond is the seven of spades, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right up to that, you gotta have faith. And staying grounded. I think that's something I was looking at earlier. I was in Nina's room and I was listening to her speak, So, and one thing that kind of stuck out with me was you were saying that how grounded she's been through her whole journey, or what kind of keeps her settled and who she is, and what she does, and staying grounded, having a routine, goal, whether it may be, and that kind of helps out because the five of diamonds is in Neptune, it's Saturn, Neptune, and it wants the freedom. It right after that is the Uranus, right? So you gotta stay grounded. Don't get attached to certain things, and don't be fearful, right?
Well, I think too, because the five of diamonds has the four in Pluto, and a four is a result card. And I've always talked about how the fives, they are that wanderer, they are that gypsy type of energy. They're always seeking. And I feel like, as you can see, with having a four in Pluto, they don't want, there's that not being anchored, not being held to something. But I think that there is something comes from their childhood, where the home energy can be challenging. And maybe this is, people who ran away, or, just needed to, kind of felt suffocated in some ways, shape, or form, and didn't know why, because they're a five and they just need constant change and shift. And that four can be challenging. But the fact that their reward is a four of diamonds, I think the five is constantly seeking some kind of stability, but they have to be comfortable in their own, in their own space, and not and really be able to face the four walls at times. And once because I think there is this, to really be free and to kind of take that jump and take that leap, is like it's still creating a solid ground to jump from. You know what I mean? Like, you always have this place you can come back to, this security, but you can wander and you can travel, but there's always these roots that you want to kind of, come back to. And I think there's finding that balance for them is so key.
Mm-hmm. And you're finding so, and it's a five, right? So that's what I was saying earlier. You was traveling, so it's like you're gonna travel. You know, you may a lot of times the five of diamonds in itself. A lot of times settle in a foreign location. I don't know if I have the banner. I'm on my cell phone. Usually I dip out since it's us two. I'm not just going to dip out and get the dates. But a lot of times they do settle in foreign locations, Um, but like you said, something as far as in that childhood, something that may happen. And you also have the Jack of Clubs that may lead to the curiosity, to the rebellious, to the being irresponsible, to all the negative traits of the Five of Diamonds. I sometimes I be like, the black man as the Five of Diamonds, or sometimes you hear those type of things. But if you see the characteristics of the Five of Diamonds, it has extreme characteristics or negative characteristics, which as far as like one of the I'll let you know the cardsoflife.com. I believe it's the reference. I was looking at the Five of Diamonds. So just the fives overall, really. It wasn't even the Five of Diamonds. But being unstable, irresponsible, undependable, insecure. Insecure was one of the biggest things that kind of stuck out for me. Being elusive, fickle, seductive, deceptive, negative, codependent, detached, Detached was something that stuck out for me as well this week. As far as relationships, I think you're talking about having that home to go back to, or those people having that solid foundation. Something that happens in the home. The Four of Hearts is there, the Queen of Spades is there. So it may come from a stern background, or a stern relationship, or a stern home. It may not be the home could have been related to the military, right? So, but that could have shaped or changed the concept of what a home is, or the concept of relationships, or family, or may leave you pressed to create that for yourself in some type of way. So wherever it may be, or wherever the restrictions or restraints, because the Five of Diamonds kind of reminds me of the Eight of Spades. It like, or the eights overall, like they supposed to come to empower themselves, or to admit willpower, or to overcome. It seemed like it's like one of those cards, like I shall overcome. I shall fight, over the obstacles that I'm faced with. So you got to have a sense of family, sense of relationships, not being, like I said, an escapist. It could be also into drugs. It's Neptune. It can be somewhat of an escapist as well. So yeah, like you said, it got to have some core values. Understand family and relationships is. Make
I
sure.
think security, those fours are that there's sense of security. And I think that they are constantly looking for security, right? But they're looking outside of themselves. Right. And the element of feeling secure or feeling safe is a challenge for them because they have a Four of Hearts and Pluto, but their reward is a Four of Diamonds. They have to get clear about what's important to them, what's valuable to them, where they want to go. And once they have that clarity, it doesn't feel like they're in a wash spin cycle anymore, because that's a big part of the fives. Someone put in the comment that the Four of Clubs, actually transforms to the Five of Hearts. But yes, the Five of Diamonds transforms to the Six. And that, I always say, 3 of the 4 fives transform into 6s. And that's gave me such a different perspective of the fives, because that tells me that when things change, right? Because they're inevitable, they are going to change. It's a 5. That's what you're here to learn, is how to change, how to adapt. But it's really freeing yourself, trusting in the shift, trusting in the pivot, that it's actually leading you more to your purpose, because that's what the 6s are, is alignment, destiny, fate, karma, the balancing of the scales. So those 5s, when the wind blows you in a new direction, rather than, I used to talk about this in the clubhouse rooms, it's like looking at, you're on you're floating down a river. The 5s are like you in the tube, and you just do, and then you may hit a rock, right? But you bounce off that damn thing and you keep it moving, right? That's the 5s to me. And that's like the 9 in Mars. They have to hit that rock, right? Adjust, let go, free themselves, shift, get ready for that new that switcheroo, because that's leading you to more of your purpose. Now, if you try to swim up that stream, you're going to exhaust yourself. You're probably going to drown. You're going to wear yourself out because you're going against the current. And so if 3 of the 4 fives transform into 6s, it's just that really, to me, tells me have faith, because a lot of them have 7s in Jupiter, that the shift, the change is actually leading you more to your purpose. It's us that will resist it. But again, with the 5 of Diamonds having that 4 in Pluto and the 4 as a reward card, having that security is I feel like such a challenge for them. And to create it, they really have to go within, like they have to create that home that they may have not, a safe space that they may not have gotten within themselves, to really get the reward of that 4 of Diamonds, where things are actually like, oh, I'm good, I'm okay, like everything's clear, I can focus, I can actually, see, through the what I call, I would jokingly say the 5s are like the wash spin cycle, because it sometimes spits you out. You never know where it's going to take you. So, but that 4 of Diamonds being the reward card, it's pivotal to that energy. But there's a sense of needing some kind of security, but I think they have to feel secure within themselves and trust that every time something shifts, that every time something changes, it's actually so that it leads them more of to their purpose.
Yeah, that is actually Keith and them, they said Neptune, Neptune, Saturn. So it's like going with your gut, um, taking over whatever you're supposed to inherit in this particular lifetime, right? So it's coming to fulfill your destiny, right? So, or coming to take over your birthright. It's like this is what you're supposed to do. You know, so you're supposed to fight for that right, overcome all the obstacles that may come before you. But one thing I was talking about earlier, one thing as far as people, the hardest thing to do, is to do those things in the face of uncertainty. When you're not certain about certain things or situations, especially when your money is funny.
Mm-hmm.
when when you just don't got it, when you gotta ask or call somebody for $5 or $10, and they telling you to believe in your purpose, and you like, nah, I just need to go get this job around the corner, and that's what I'm gonna do. But even in those time periods, like I remember one time I was walking, like I just graduated college, like my mother just cussed me out, like I was going through it, right, and I was walking across this path, and I met a school's director, Mr. Singleton, at a after school program, and he asked me what was I doing, because I'm not supposed to be on the property. I'm like, this is my grandmother lived across the street. Like I used to do this all the time. So he was like, well, what are you doing? To my aunt's house. I live across the street. He said, so what you doing? You working? So I told him my whole life. And I was like, no, I'm not working right now. I said, well, come over and I give you a job, right? So those are like those situations where you bound to have faith even in the face of uncertainty, right? And you got to just leave it up to a higher power that somebody's going to take care of you. But it's hard to tell somebody to believe that when you have no money, you don't know what you're going to do with your life. And I look back at that now, and still working in that same type of scenery, that same type of setting. But if you told me that then, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't be thinking about that education, talking to help, working with people underdeveloped. It's all has like correlated to now. But also in that same sense, getting that job that you don't think you need, but working up the ranks as well, because the Five of Diamonds also has the King of Clubs. You know, um, so a lot of times they can, stub their own toe. They can put put your foot in your mouth a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
because they also have the Two of Clubs. Seven of Spades isn't that, like, it can be self-indulgent at time periods. So they have all of these other things, on the low end, if they're not floating on the high end and looking at the opportunities, having faith, letting go, and seeing that the grass may be greener on the other side if you just have faith at times, even in the face of uncertainty.
That's what I was talking about when I think Nick was hitting me up about seeing that 2 or 3 of the fives have nines in Mars, and he's like, "What do you think about that?" I said, "They have to have the nine in Mars. It's what frees them, because they're here to not be attached. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot, like, and the nine of diamonds challenges that five of diamonds, and so they're gonna constantly deal with. It's like you talked about. I saw your post. It's like money in, money out, right? You make money and it goes right out the door, but knowing that if it's going out the door, that more's coming in. And that's kind of like that seven of spades, having faith, that if I'm spending this, if I'm investing this, if I'm, doing whatever, that means it's just a revolving door, it's something even more is coming back into, to take its place. And I think being a five, those nines are so pivotal to that energy, because you find nines and fives travel together, in spreads, and it's for a reason, because to grow, to have more, to change, you have to let go. You have that nines to me are shedding a skin. There's maturity that comes with that. So they need those nines so that they can embrace the essence of change and the restlessness, and that free. To me, the fives are like free spirits. They're the wanderers, they're the gypsies, they're the ones that say, let's just do it, let's go. They have balls, they ready to take it on. It's fun to me. I love that energy, maybe because it pushes me in life. The five of spades does. So I appreciate the shift and and I've always felt like I can manage chaos because of that 5 that I have behind me, and they're really good when things are busy. It's probably difficult for them when things aren't busy, when things aren't moving, when things are slow. They're probably like, what's wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those 9s really are so pivotal to their spread, but they, again, there's 2 sides to everything, right? They have to be careful. If they get attached to things, if they give with those expectations or conditions of something coming back, that's when the disappointment, and it looks, like a loss, or they, kind of got short-ended, or whatever the case may be, but because they're giving from a space of attachment, expectations. And I think to be completely free, you give it knowing that the universe will provide for you. You give it knowing that it's always going to come back, that you're always going to be taken care of. You have one of the most powerful cards in Jupiter, 7 of spades. You got to have faith that, you're going to be provided for. And when you live in that utmost of faith, you'll never be without.
Yeah, that's the exact conversation I had earlier today. As we talk about this, we come here, like we say, we give you our lives. What do you bring to the table? So as far as the conversation was, conversations was someone was speaking about, the low sides of the 5 of diamonds is lying, uh, you know, putting yourself or being around associations with people that you shouldn't associate with, or doesn't have high standards, right? The low form of the jack of clubs, right? With hip hop music, having fun, and just the low is parts of that clubs, the party, and all of those essences. But the
Would
reward.
you say too, though, Rashad, with the Jack being in Venus and a Jack in Neptune, that one of the struggles with the 5 of diamonds is commitment, committing to something, someone,
Or someone, or things, yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things that's what I was saying when it has when it commits to some. I was saying something with the 4 of diamonds earlier, or something. If it oh yeah, Saturn, about the aspects of Saturn, was sticking to something,
Mm-hmm.
having a routine, committing to something, you will see the reward. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but as far as what I was talking about with dealing with the work and success, so someone had to steal, but this other person, and the effects of them stealing, or something that rather happened, they was rewarded in the same amount that that person had to steal for. So it's like they got rewarded, or the universe rewarded them. They didn't have to do anything. You don't have to question your worth or your value once you put in the work, and you have earned the rights of Saturn. Universe will reward you. You have to look at the Uranus line. That's the line of rewards. You get what you reap what you sow. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have earned your right. Even looking at the 6 of diamonds, I was thinking about that earlier. We was talking about something, but the 6 of diamonds, it made me think about the 6 of diamonds. But it transforms into the 7 of clubs, who sits Uranus, right? We always talks about the powerful essence of 6 of diamonds: money going in, money coming out, being faithful, and talking to money like you deserve it and you earn it. And it is also the card of you reap what you sow. So the 5 of diamonds, if you look at it spiritually, it has the 6 of diamonds in Mercury, right? So it has to have that same spiritual connection of understanding what goes in must come back, and that's the spirit of a hustler. Anybody that's about money. I always think about Nelly. He's a 5 of diamonds. I loved him as a kid. That was my favorite artist. Like, if I had my favorite rappers was Nelly and Lil Wayne, but Nelly was first. But his music is about hustling. Also, you think about the 5 is invention. About the future. Talking about finances. He had a whole song called Nellyville about being financially literate, literally. Like, so, even some of his other songs talk about finances within his group. So, um, it's one of those cards where you got to understand money and the flow of money. So what happened this week? I believe I forgot what day it was. That's why I was looking. The stock market supposedly crashed, or it was the slowest or biggest dip in the stock market this week. Yeah.
Wasn't it yesterday, the 10 of diamonds day?
Or was it?
No. Was it the 10 of diamonds or the jack of diamonds day?
Let me see. I have to see what day it was. The
I can't remember.
diamond. I was asking them, anybody here, if they know what day it was. I did repost it. My plan was to use this phone that I'm on. It was like I wasn't totally unprepared. Just a second. But I thought that was kind of interesting, uh, outside of just the conversations that I've had this week that really made me reflect on, all the characteristics of the five, what it is, and you know what it stands for. It's been a very interesting week for me, to say the
Yeah.
least. Even and the Ace of Clubs has been drawn to me as well. I 3, 4. Nick called me. I went over to my Ace of Clubs friend house. I'm like, what's the connection with the Ace of Clubs Five Diamonds? Or maybe it's just me. But and then I was looking at the Two of Hearts. So I had the Two of Hearts in my weekly spread. So I think that's what it was. It may have been the Two of Hearts.
Well, the Ace of Clubs don't. They have a 5 in Mars and Pluto. It's not the 5 of diamonds, but
Right.
they.
They had the Five of Spades. That's what it was.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're busy. They go well together. You find aces and fives that travel together too, because they're that Mars, like you need that. You start to see that these cards are together like it's a reason to get the new. The ace, you got to make a change. The 5, you got to let go. The 9, so you see why they all travel together. So it just makes you be able to look at these cards differently. So you're not like, oh no, I got all these 9s and these 5s. Well, they're necessary. I mean, something's going to change. It means you're going to be doing something different. So you might as well embrace it. And I can guarantee you that there's an ace somewhere, whether it's the transformation card, the cosmic lesson card, you'll be displacing a 9, and the ace is the reward card. You know what I mean? So it's because that means that something is ending. That means there's something new coming. And that's one thing I think the 5s have to really, 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 really embrace because they do have some challenging spreads when you look at it. Like she said, the 5 of diamonds, majority of their spread is Uranus. So yes, the being able to change. It's all about being able to pivot and really to be able to trust and go with the flow and have faith that every time something shifts, something moves, it's really to, redirect your purpose, redirect where you're going. And usually it's lining you up with exactly what you need. It's just that we tend to resist it. We're like, oh no, it's changing. And we've gotten comfortable. We've gotten complacent, and we're going to resist the hell out of this and fight it with everything we got.
I also let you know there's a higher source. A lot of times aces can be all about them, self-centered. And a lot of instances, and maybe hold a certain desire that they may not be see that's fulfilled. Or be attached to certain things. So, like you said, it'll teach you not to be attached.
Yep. Because just like, I was saying this, maybe it was in one of the rooms, because I've been jumping in the rooms more lately. I've been feeling this urge to talk more. Oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. There was something with the 9s, and as quickly as it can come to you, it can quickly be taken from you. Mm-hmm. Right? As quickly as something can come in, it's just as the tides. It comes in, it's going to go out. And I think that's like why when we look at like the 10 of diamonds has the 9 of hearts and Pluto, as quickly as they can succeed, they can quickly be, all of it can be taken. So you're really being taught how to not be attached. That, and really, I think more than anything is that to not try to control it. Right. When you're not attached to it, you're not trying to control it. You allow it. You tend to not resist it. You tend to be, you're kind of like, okay, I can, because you finally get to the point where you have enough experiences in life that you're like, now that I look back at it, I probably needed that to happen, right? And you can kind of be like, I'm glad that happened, because if that didn't happen,
I
then
was,
maybe I wouldn't have had this happen,
yeah,
right?
yeah, of course. That's what I was saying earlier. That's what happened earlier. Like, so at my job,
Rashad, you're frozen. You're frozen in time, Rashad. You're in the matrix. He did. He's frozen. Rashad, you're frozen. I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. But yeah, once Rashad fixes whatever he's got going on. But yeah, she's saying in the chat, it literally is riding a wave. It you gotta surf, you know what I mean? And it does, it prepares you for the next wave that's gonna come, because it's all it is. There you are.
see, that wasn't supposed to happen now. Now that's a wave that I didn't volunteer to get on. That was definitely involuntary wave action. But
But it leads you to your computer and you sound more clear, because on the phone you were breaking up. So
thank you. It did. You're right. Maybe it was all in divine, right? Divine timing. I can't lie. But I was trying to get on this computer earlier. It wasn't coming up. I was like, what's going on? I had my phone on the charger and it overheated. But but that's what happened.
the life of the three of diamonds, y'all, in living color.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna just turn the phone off. We're just gonna turn the phone off. We're just gonna turn it off. But what I was saying was, so at my job, what happened was I had started when I was working for a particular company. I don't know. I don't want to air them out, but I got into a dispute with one of the I want to say dispute with one of the managers, but it was just a disagreement because I trained several people at the job, right? So what ended up happening is one of the dudes he gets a raise, and then he gets to go to Atlanta for a management position. So I'm trying not to say too much, right? So he goes to Atlanta for a management position. This person that I trained goes to Atlanta. So I came into the company because I know certain people or I have certain connections. You know, I wouldn't call it nepotism or nothing, but I know certain people. So they request me to go to two different locations twice. And I get denied twice. But what ends up happening is this dude gets fired from the job because he gets caught stealing.
Mm.
At that particular time, I'm hurt. I'm devastated. Like, why me? Like, so I get denied twice, and then the person you get caught stealing don't even get to go, and you still don't let me go. All right, but during that conversation, someone was telling me that was you wasn't supposed to be there. You know, you needed to leave. You needed a change, whatever it may be. You know, it just wasn't meant for you, to overcome your restrictions, and those things that has been put in your life's path. You had to go through that particular thing, and to maybe that was the only thing that would have pushed you out of there, because if you stayed, would you have grown,
Yep.
so you just had to make that decision to let go. That's those nines. Nine and diamonds specifically is quit the job, get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
You've outgrown where you at and what you're doing. Like I said, a lot of times the five of diamonds is supposed to grow into the king of clubs of being proficient in what they're doing, the head of something. And the women may be around groups, organizations. Men a lot of times are around groups as well. You can see Nelly. He came in with the St. Lunatics. So he came out with a group and a group of people around them. So sometimes men and women, they may say which one or which one it may or may not prefer, but you can see that. But also into health and those things are helping other people in some type of way. But letting go and using information and climbing up the ladder and using that information in other places, which I was also looking at. I watched Blink Empire, and this dude, he got a reading from somebody that does feng shui, and the dude was like, "You missed your opportunity, so you may not retire until you're 46." I was like, "Dang, have I missed the opportunity or two?" Like, but I just thought that was funny. So I had got a little bit of that because I used to work. So my friend has a car dealership, right? Um, and he rent cars out. So I could have took that information and went to go work for him. So that's also saying that the information that you can use or information that you may just attain, take that information, and use it in other areas, to go open up something for yourself as well. So just working a job at the time period doesn't mean that you're working below your means. You have to learn certain skills. The Five of Diamonds also has the Queen of Spades. The Five of Diamonds is about self development as well. So a lot of times working with other people, developing your character. So you walk into the two of clubs and the seven of spades and the king of clubs, knowing how to negotiate, knowing how to work in partnerships, knowing how to train other people, and having the information, as well.
And I think think about it, they have a Queen of Spades and Mercury and a King of Clubs and Uranus. Your you know what I mean? Like your mind, your thoughts, your higher beliefs, everything. And so trusting it really is mastery. But can they bring themselves down from the wave that they're on and really tap in? You know what I mean? And a lot of times you find Five of Diamonds are very powerful. They grew up, with that Queen of Spades as a Mercury card. It can be a pretty intense um, childhood. Sometimes you'll find Five of Diamonds are dealing with mother. Sometimes they're having to take care. They had to grow up really fast.
Mm.
Sometimes because of sometimes having to take care of or mother or nurture
Don't say too much.
siblings or huh.
I say don't tell them too much, Gina.
Right.
Somebody
um
said we talk too much.
and then you add the King of Clubs and Uranus, the father kind of maybe being in and out, not being around. There could have been a lot of intense energy. They have Four Hearts and Pluto. I mean, you can't
Mhm.
deny their upbringing is
Maybe
kind
a
of,
sacrifice somewhere
yeah.
for somebody.
But again, those experiences are everything they need to again try to find that grounding energy, that their reward. See, this is why it is, even though it might be a challenging, but their reward is a Four of Diamonds, one of the most financially protected, one of the
Yeah.
most satisfying cards that there is. But again, they have to create that from within, you know what I mean, and create that stability from within, kind of create their own safe dwelling and escape the dwelling that they may have had to come from, so that they can appreciate that security even more when they create it for themselves.
Hmm. That'll be interesting, as you said, created for themselves. Gosh, I forgot which book it was, but it was speaking about the Five of Diamonds, not being able to rely on people, and maybe, or one of them having to create it for themselves, or not being self-reliant. I think I talked about that earlier, not being codependent. Maybe having to create it for themselves and give to other people in some type of way. And you also have the Jack of Diamonds and Neptune. I think as much as the Jack of Diamonds can be, funny with their money, but when they got it, a lot of times it's somebody they're going to have to come to the aid or rescue of, in some type of way, as far as like giving. They have the Four Diamonds and Venus, so it's like a family or someone that they may have to give out some money to, even through their little horrible ways. They gotta subdue to the obligation. Yeah. Well, let's see. Go through the comments.
I think she put it's hard to ask for help, and the Two of Clubs in Saturn makes it difficult for them to reach out and ask for help. They feel like they have to take on everything on their own. They may have had experiences when they did ask for help, could have got shut down, or you deal with a lot of fears with that Two of Clubs sometimes being in Saturn. Again, really having to face and master yourself. I think the Five of Diamonds can be extremely successful. I mean, look at like Rihanna's a Five of Diamonds. You said Nelly's a Five of Diamonds. I know Little Duval is a Five of Diamonds, and they're very generous. You see Duval gives back to the community, does the things for Jacksonville, the Bahamas. his family, takes care of his family, and he's very there. You can see when a 5 of diamonds is at that higher vibration, they're very charitable. Again, they understand the flow. It comes, it goes. Once you grasp that, again, you're never going to be without. You understand, you represent an energy of things flowing to you and things flowing away from you, and as long as you trust that flow and you never try to control that flow or block that flow, you'll never be without.
I think that's something that may be why I was talking to the Ace of Clubs. She's a very high vibrating Ace of Clubs. Her name's she's a DJ, but she was speaking about how she not know she wasn't speaking about it. She was speaking about how she was giving some stuff away earlier as far as she made a sale, but she was also trying to give me something. I was like, no, I'll pay, full price for it. You don't really have to give it to me. But he always lives on that principle, I will give to you if you need it. You'll feed a homeless person if you got it. And that's also she got gifted as well, and she got blessed for her hard work by people. She got a tip, if it's $2, $3, $4 a tip, and whenever you put forth the effort and you give people and you sacrifice, and they see you genuine, you care, and you working and you don't have that fear, it comes back. Manage your product though, right?
Yeah.
Manage inventory. The Queen of Spades, 8 of Diamonds, 10 of Diamonds, Jack of Diamonds. Don't lose sight of the money, but right. But energetically, when you give from an energetic point of helping and of service, actually that's another one. I was talking to another Ace Club about John the Baptist, and I was reading. Looking at the similarities in John the Baptist's story, and why and how it relates to the King of Hearts. And he was a servant, a disciple, I believe, of God, of Jesus, and he was his cousin. But one of the lessons that he learned, because he was trying to get into a place of leadership, right? And I believe it was at the Final Supper, and Jesus washed their feet, right? And he was saying, as a king, your job is to be of service to the people, skip the line, to be service to the people, thinking because you inherited a certain right that this is your place, So the place of the king is to be in servitude to the people in some type of way. So, even Jack of Diamonds, that's 9 of Diamonds, being selfish, and self-centered a lot of times with the aces as well. When you get those parts of them, or they're just thinking about themselves and not giving from a place of I can let it go, or I'm giving them a place of not just to show people I got it, but just because you can or you want to, and not expecting anything back, that's like showing the higher side of those lines, and really trusting the universe as well. Yeah.
I think that's so key. Like that's a big thing for me. People have always given me things. Like my neighbor, when we first moved here, she had 2 twin daughters. They're older than my youngest. So, bags of clothes. So I'm a big, I pay it forward. I was like, oh, you can sell all this stuff. I give it. I'll go donate it to the shelters, like women who leave, and they don't have anything with them. Or, I'm big on just give it. Like, what, you know what I mean? I believe in that. Like it's always a pay it forward. And, even with my products, I've had people reach out to me, and I'm my clients, for me, I know that it's probably for me to give is actually it's an easier thing, I think. And you do it, like you said, you do it from a space without any expecting something back, and having the faith that I'm giving because it actually feels good. I think that's the space and I think that's where those 9s are really big about that. But again, there's also having the balance of boundaries too. You don't want to overshare and overgive and deplete yourself. Right.
No. That is my new word. From here until I have a certain amount of money, I am saying no. I'm sorry. Everything is a no. From here on out. After my birthday, I'm supposed to start at my birthday. I'm about 2 months late.
We about too much,
Rashad.
but
Rashad.
I'm instilling that no, a hard no, into my vocabulary. I'm sorry, yeah. That is going here on out with the nine of diamonds. The boundaries, sevens. It also comes with boundaries, the conflicts and family health. When you sick and you're hurting, you can't help nobody, right? You can't really help nobody. You have no when you don't have anything. During my hardest times, a lot of times I didn't ask anybody, because it was nobody for me to ask. Everybody around me, they can't help me, right? But when you're doing okay, and when you doing how you usually do, everyone wants to come to you, and not saying that I don't want to, but sometimes I have to know when to say no until I'm in the position where I can, or being able, or give you other ways to get something, So I understand the nine, the five of diamonds, because if there's certain people in certain situations where if I need something, it's like one or two people that I can ask, but if I can't, if they don't got it, then they just don't got it, So I just don't really ask them because it's not something that I even do like all the time either. So, but yeah, nine of diamonds, nine of spades, nine of clubs. Also know when to say no within that. That's why I said manage your money, manage your finances, manage your energy overall.
Yeah.
Your space, your health space.
Because people have no problem taking, right? They will take. They know that you're gonna give. They're coming. They can sense it, So that's where you have to have that power of no, and not feeling guilty, because then there's some, people know how to pull on those heartstrings. They know how to, manipulate certain things to get certain things. But that's where you have to have the power of being like, no, this isn't good for me. Right. And we have to get into a space of like making those decisions based on what's best for us, because they're not doing it. Right. They're not looking out for you. They're looking out for themselves as well. So it's so important to be able to say no. It doesn't mean that, and I've never say like not give, but if you know that giving is actually going to hurt you in some way, then obviously you have to be able to say no. And knowing in the time, like you said, when I have it, it's easy, and sometimes there is that balance. Like, you can't save everybody. You can't fix everybody. You have to really have that ability to be like, you know what? Not right now. This wouldn't be good for me. It's not healthy for me, or whatever the case. It may put me in a situation that I don't need to be in. And because, like you said, then when it's kind of your turn to in that space, and now there's nobody, it's like then you get bitter, you get all mad, like nobody's here to help you. But really, again, you didn't have enough discernment to help yourself to say no, to be like, I'm good. You put yourself in that position, right? Because you didn't say no. And you can't be mad at the other person because you kind of let them do it.
Not at all. They they was just they just asked,
Right. Right. What's the worst that you can do? I would tell me, what's the worst they can say? No. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's the worst that you can say is no.
I sometimes I want to look into the psychology of givers versus. No, I can't say that because I know some really nice people that can sell and make money, and they also give. So I'm gonna retract that. Like the person I just talked about earlier, who's an ace of clubs, who can sell anything as far as like she does like CMOS and those things as well. I'll post on my Instagram. Um, she she sells, so she can sell anything. Like Ace of Clubs, great storytellers. Like so, she was selling somebody some CMOS, and it was just a conversation. Like you didn't even know she was selling it, right? Just talking about her reviews and what people say and what people do. Whenever they got the product. Um, but yeah, she doesn't know that she's selling anything to you. I think that's like a five of diamonds, nine of diamonds, jack of clubs, jack of diamonds type of attribute, right? Of just people that know how to say, they know how to get you to say yes, or they just know how to ask for anything, or based upon just that human interaction, So those type of slick people, I'm not going to say they all swindle you, So you have some upright and some righteous people that have that as well. But
I personally can sense commission breath. I can smell it. I can smell you. I can sense you. I can tell if you're genuine or not. You can, because you can hear it in their tone. You can hear it in the way they present it. You can almost, sometimes you can tell when some people are reading a script. You can tell when people, this is really something that they believe in. This is something, that's probably why she's successful, because if she believes in it and she's passionate about it, you're not selling something. It's like, that this is like how I am with my products. Like, I mean, when I was out there doing shows, not people will tell me all the time, it's really not, it's you. I'm because of you, because of the way you speak about this, how passionate you get about it. So you can sense that, and, it's why I like car salesman is such a jack of diamonds, because to me, there's a commission breath connected to it. Like you're being kind of not manipulated, but you are kind of being coerced into something. And you can, I don't know, I can sense it now when someone has what I call commission breath.
Even if they're not, even if they're passionate about the car, when it gets down to that contract, it's just a certain type of feeling, I do know some people that are in the industry, so I would say educate yourself as far as how you operate or what you sign, and because there's a difference between a good deal and a bad deal always. If you're not aware of your credit, you don't know what the appreciation rate is. You just want to make sure you educate yourself before you walk into anything like that. Even me, I kind of knew that I had a bad deal, but at that particular time, I had no other car. I was about to be walking in a city I'm not from, so it was a little different. That's the Five of Diamonds. It was a situation that came up. I had to let it go. It was my travel. So that's what talking about the Five of Diamonds, right? So it was definitely car sales. I think car sales, Five of Diamonds, right? Tax, car sales. That was a conversation that came up this week as well. I was talking to Nick, but anything around the. Go ahead.
But they have the Jack of Clubs at Venus. They can talk you into and out of anything that they really want to. And when they get there, that going, man. And then the King of Clubs is going to bring it with even more power. Like, can be extremely convincing. You'd be like, yes, I need this. No, you don't. But you've convinced me I do.
Everything about it, right? You just convinced me. You just tell me everything that I love about it.
Mm-hmm. And they know that Jack of Clubs at Venus makes them smooth ass talkers for sure. Very smooth.
Five of Diamonds is eventually you don't have to go to the gas station no more. You can charge it overnight. Feel that take off. You feel that? Yeah.
Hold on, I'll be right. Hold on.
No, you good. But I was actually about to pull out anyways. We're about an hour in. But this is the Five of Diamonds energy. Everything that we literally spoke about has been around the Five of Diamonds, even ins and outs. So I appreciate everyone listening. It also sits Neptune. So yes, washing the feet. You can also we also speak about those Baptist cards relating to the Six of Clubs, six of Spades, right? Washing the feet also relates to the Two of Spades as well. That I kind of relate that to that, because that if you guess why, if you get a reading, you may do readings yourself because you seem pretty knowledgeable. But if you want to do a reading, I give you a discount on that. Why would I say the Two of Spades is related to washing the feet? If you get that, you good, and you know the cards. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for sure. Before we go, be sure to like and support the video. If there's anything that we give to you, any information that we help you learn, or if you just like to hear us talk, I really appreciate that, because I don't know why you would want to hear me talk, right? But I really do appreciate it, because if you're here listening, I know we give you some type of value. So, One of the Diamonds is your drastic explosive change. One blow up, and we can literally destroy bridges and never look back. Nine of Diamonds, the Three of Spades. I'm guessing you're a Three of Spades. I'm glad you letting us know. Oh no, she said Nine of Diamonds is Uranus Mars. Yeah, for that card. Oh yeah, for sure. That's Kanye West. If you're trying to understand what she's speaking of, talk about explosive change. Kanye West, 50 Cent type of explosive change thing going on. Yeah. It's short tempered, especially with the five of diamonds. You do not want to get into a verbal dispute with the five of diamonds. It has the Queen of Spades, Mercury. That's someone verbally I wouldn't want to, just out of the disrespect that may come out of their mouth.
But like that's the one card you don't want to cuss you out. They'll make you cry. They can be intense with that Queen of Spades and Mercury. Powerful tongue. For sure. My neighbor's daughters are five of diamonds, and I'm like, tone it down. Talking like I've heard them get like heated, and you're like, dang, you will destroy these kids with your words. It's like, oh,
Okay. But I'm going through the comments. I was just about to peace out, Gina. Was there anything that you want coming up? Any classes?
I do. I have 2 webinars in August. And what?
I watched Twister.
Oh, you did? My little Ace of Clubs just came home, and she watched the movie Twister. Did you like it? Yeah.
It's not scary at all.
It wasn't scary.
I can't wait for Twisters.
Oh man, that she brought me flashbacks. Oh my gosh, the Ace of Clubs. Oh gosh, doing her research, going back. I love it.
I know. So I have 2 webinars in August. On the Saturday, the 17th, is the transformation card and how do we transform. And then the other one in August is the 31st, whatever that Saturday is. I think it's the 31st, is the cosmic moon card and our emotions. So those are my 2 webinars that I'm doing in August. It's $30 for one or $50 for both. There will be those Saturdays at 12:30 Eastern time on Zoom. It'll be recorded if you can't come, though I do think you should be there because I do talk about you individually. I don't generalize it. We go into everybody who's in the webinars. We dig into their chart specifically, their spread, and we look at those placements specifically. So it's really interactive, really dope to break down. I love talking about the transformation card. I've learned a lot, and I think the way I connect it into your natal chart is even pretty profound. So it's a lot of fun. And so those are the 2 in August that I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay, so we appreciate it. Going out next week is the 6 of Diamonds week. Someone also said 5 of Diamonds can't sell anything they don't align with our values. So I kind of feel the same way, especially I have to look back. Speaking about selling products, right? You have the Queen of Spades, Mercury, but I have to go back. But also, I think that goes also just from being anal, being a perfectionist, especially if you're woke, they are very, they can be rebellious as well, as far as the 5 of Diamonds overall. Some people like to call rebellious. I think rebellious comes from people trying to control you. So why are you trying to define me as rebellious? But so if you informed, a lot of informed people are seemingly rebellious, right? But it's Uranus as well. So it's being scientific, critical, being observant, what's applied to you or anyone else.
But thinking outside the box, I think is a big part of that. Their ability to kind of bring different perspectives. They help you see things from different ways. And I really do believe the 5 of Diamonds is here to kind of help you see, once they see themselves, the value. That's why they're constantly seeking more value. They realize, shit, I deserve more. You know what I mean? And so then I think that's when they show up in your spread, or you are sitting in the 5 of Diamonds, the energy is asking you, do you want more? Right? And so how do I get more? How do I make these necessary changes to get more of what I want? And I think that's key for that energy too.
No, yeah, for sure. Someone just said she said she deserved more. I guess she's got to be a 5 of Diamonds, but
yeah, I think she is. Yeah, I think she's 5 of Diamonds. So it makes sense. And to answer the question where, if you want to sign up for the webinars, DM me on Instagram. at Guided by the Cards, and I will get you set up, or you can email me at guidedbythecards@gmail.com, and we can get you signed up for the webinars that are happening in August. And like I said, they'll be on Zoom, so it's very interactive. It'll be recorded. The recording is sent afterwards as well, so you always have it to go back and refer to it as well. Or if you miss it, you can go back and watch it too. And then yes, what you said, the Six of Diamonds week.
Yeah.
I always look at the sixes like, okay, what do I owe money? Like, I'm always like, where do I need to pay something? Like, do I have any debts that need to be paid? I'm always trying to settling debts with the six energy, because I do believe you get back what you put out. So I try to make sure I'm not in any debt when the six is coming up. I look at it, and I also pay attention to what's coming to me, because to me, it's just a reflection of what I've done. Right. So, and I think it's important with that energy is allowing yourself to receive the things, because you are getting back what you have put into things. So, and if you don't like what's showing up, you have the ability to adjust, because it's just a reflection of what you've been putting out. So it's a great card, a great energy to kind of pay attention, what's leaving, what's coming. It's all a reflection. And again, if you don't like what you're seeing, you have the opportunity to adjust. You have the opportunity to make those shifts, those changes. And again, paying any debts, settling any debts. And it doesn't mean you're always on the, you are having to pay things off. There may be things that are owed to you, right? Because again, it's reflecting on what you've done in the past. So, but I always pay attention more so with the sixes, because it's faded energy. So I'm like, you know, and it's aligning you. And also have patience, because there can be delays. You know, you may be waiting on something, and it may take, you know, it's always going to be a slower energy. We're coming out of a 5 where it's busy. Now it's going to slow down. Take your time. Sit with things. Mercury's going retrograde, which is so perfect for this energy as well. You have to kind of go back over things. There can be deja vu. There can be things from the past that are coming back to be settled in some way. So that's how I kind of view the six.
Yeah, and also watch as far as signing contracts and those type of things. Five of diamonds type of cue. Also with the six of diamonds, your agreements, what you've agreed to do. You know, picking things up and putting it down. You know, being consistent. And not being fearful as well, with the nine of clubs and six of diamonds that it has. So a lot of times the five of hearts can make six of diamonds be seemingly unsettled as well. So there can be a lot of changes relationship wise, people, places, things, you know, things may change. Yeah. So I want to look forward to see as far as the stock market, see if it kind of settles out, or to see what the future predictions are going to be on that. So see if there's any fear mongering that's going to go on, because threes is uncertainty. So you just came out of a five of diamonds that's uncertain, and then six of diamonds has a three of clubs and three of spades. So it'll be see kind of what they're kind of saying, because the six of diamonds transforms into the seven of clubs, which is mantras. So you want to see what people are speaking about and what they're speaking to, as far as how they may be feeling about the market, because they're just, you know, emitting mantras out and just redefining what may take place. So redefine, you know, a wealthy spirit about yourself, which I have to tell myself this week as well. Have great karma. Speak about what you want to have come into your life, what you deserve, and what you want to see. Like she was saying, I deserve more. So if you deserve more, put more into the universe. Stay focused, and you shall receive. Right, six of diamonds, seven of clubs. Speaking your own money more. So we'll see you all next week.
Yeah, those are sixes and sevens are some of the strongest cards of accountability, because again, they're just the reflection of what's in the inside. And so it really is a mirror for you to see, especially that when you look at the six of diamonds, it transforms into the seven of clubs. You're going to get back what you put out. That's the card of power of the words, power of the tongue. You know, you're either speaking life or you're speaking death, you know, and it is going to give you, you know, exactly what you put out. So again, if you don't like it, you have the ability to change it. So it's steady energy, it's slower energy, have patience with it. But again, it kind of wants you, especially with Mercury going retrograde, what that inner voice, right? What are you saying? You know, are you going over things? Are you taking your time? Are you rushing to something? Because again, they have the 5 in Pluto. They may just, you know, that energy can get a little intense. So, but I think it'll be an interesting week as always. So we'll see you guys next week. And thank you all so much for coming and listening to us. We appreciate it. And yes, please reach out to me. I appreciate y'all so much. And Rashad, I will see you next week.
All right. See, and acting, act out what you want. I've seen that. Like, act out what you want into the inner universe as well. You're not crazy. You just manifesting. Talk to yourself. It's okay. All right. Talk to y'all later.